Hi! So I finally decided to do a YouTube. I have been wanting to do this for ages and I decided what better way to start than with a product I don't think has been reviewed as of yet. So I thought I'd review, oh god, nearly dropped it. So I'd review this for all you lovely people. If you'd like to see what this is like, then continue watching. If not, then bye. So, before I start, I do work as a retail artist for Charlotte Tilbury. That's how I got my hands on this early. But regardless of that, I am going to say if I like it or not, because I'm sure Charlotte's open to constructive criticism, and I'm not going to say that I like something if I don't. Apply it on its own or on top of your daily moisturiser for a natural healthy glow. I personally would put it on with a moisturiser, but that's because I have slightly more dry skin, so I would apply every single product that I put on my face with the moisturiser underneath. However, I do want to take this to Ibiza, which means it's going to be really hot, so I'm going to try it with a primer underneath on one side and then just moisturiser underneath on the other, because if this doesn't hold or sit nicely with a primer, then to be honest I will not use it, because I always use a primer no matter what. I'm going to go in with a primer on one side of my face, which feels really odd doing, but gotta do what you gotta do. I'm also going to take it down my neck because it is an illuminating primer, so I'm just going to blend that in. Right. So, I'm going in with the Unisex Healthy Glow, and I've tried this before. I've tried it on my arm, so I know what the colour is. Okay, let's shake. And back of my hand. So it does come out slightly grey, whitish. So I'm going to apply that. Start working it in. Still feeling nice. It does feel moisturising. It literally just feels like a thick moisturiser, like I said. So it doesn't feel heavy or anything, which is nice. It does feel slightly odd on my hands though. So I think that's all blended in. Let's have a look. It's like, I know it's a tinted moisturiser, but I was thinking there'd be a little bit more coverage than what there actually is, or it'd be a bit more glowy. Up close, don't really notice a difference in texture or grabbing anywhere in the comparison with a primer underneath and no primer underneath. Didn't actually notice any difference, to be honest, when I was applying it either. I think this side just obviously has a bit more luminosity with it using the primer, but I feel like it's alright, but I don't feel like I'm raving about it or there's much difference, to be honest. So I'm going to let it sit for 5 minutes, see if it adapts to my skin a bit more, and then we'll try putting products over it and see how it sits. So 5 minutes, 5, 10, 5. Okay, so I do think it looks a lot better. I feel like it looks quite like second skin, but it kind of covered up the redness and discoloration that I had in my face quite nicely, so I think it'd be nice. I wouldn't personally wear it on its own. I would wear it with a concealer, which I will do in a minute, and see how products actually sit on top of it. It feels a bit like when you touch it, like you've got sun cream on, but it doesn't actually feel like anything on your skin, so I guess that's good because I don't really think many people are going to be touching my face, so we're alright with that. But yeah, I do think it looks nice. I think it settles in nice with my complexion. The claim about it adapting to your skin tone is a claim that's true. I haven't noticed a single difference with wearing a primer under it and not. I think it's just a bit more luminous and it'll probably just hold a lot better. Right, so I'm going to go in with the Retoucher. I have shade 2. My favourite thing about this concealer is that if you leave it in certain areas for longer and don't blend it straight away, it actually gets more and more opaque. So if you're wanting a fuller coverage from it, you can have it, but if you're wanting a lighter coverage, then you can. So I really do like that. I really only prefer to put products where I actually need them now, and in today's case, a lot of places. I'm going to let this sit for a little bit because I don't like to blend it straight away, mainly because I'm a bit lazy, so I like to take breaks when I'm doing my makeup, which is why it takes me a little while to get ready. So I've let it sit for literally about a minute and a half. I'm just going to blend that out with my finger. Then we're going to go in with, it's actually a eye blending brush. I'm just going to buff that out. I learnt this technique from Laura at Craft in Sheffield, so thanks for that, Laura. It just buffs it out a lot more seamlessly into whatever you've got on your base. It's a really nice brush to use. It's also a lot nicer for under eyes, so it doesn't actually drag them. Right, so normally I would add a bit more concealer to certain areas, but for the purpose of the video it's not really about a full face, so we're going to bypass that. So I'm going to go in next with a highlighter, but I don't really highlight like I used to do. I used to bake and all that jazz, but now I just don't. Looking pretty. I'm just going to blend this out with a beauty blender. I have actually just wet this, obviously under the tap. So I saw in natural lighting, and it does look much fuller coverage in natural lighting. And then we're just going to set the areas that I would get a little bit shiny. So that's just under my eyes, around my nose. I actually don't add a lot of powder just because I don't like how it feels on my face, but needs must. Right, so that's all the creams down on the face, and it is actually quite pretty. Then we're going to see what it's like actually with bronzers and stuff over the top. And we'll see how it actually sets or whether it clings, because tinted moisturiser, that's the main thing that I notice with ones that I have, is that products like to cling to it and don't really like to buff as nicely, and then things start to slide and it's all a bit grim. So we'll see what that's like. But I'm going to do my brows and my eyes off camera just because otherwise it's going to put everything out of proportion and look slightly weird. So I've got my eyebrows on, I've got my eyes on, just something really rough and quick. I'm not going to contour just because if I was doing something in the day where I would be wearing this I probably wouldn't contour. So I'm just going to bronze. So the brush doesn't seem to be dragging, which is obviously always a good sign. To take some of that luminosity down my neck as well, because we don't want, so I'm not adding extra products, we don't want it to really change shade, we just want it to have the same luminosity that my face has. So up to now I think it's good, it doesn't seem to be patchy or anything, but we will have a closer inspection when I'm done. I'm not being too neat with this, just plainly because if it is that beachy kind of vibe, then it's meant to be that kind of summer's hit as opposed to chiseled. So I am going in with two different highlighters just because I do that all the time, that I wear highlighters. And if we're wanting to be extra glowy like the tinted moisturiser is meant to be, then we may as well. I'm blending all together. I just like to go in with a beauty blender underneath. Sometimes I actually go in and just pat it all together. Because it's going to be a beachy thing, I want it all to blend as much as possible. So that's why I go with this, and my beauty blender's near enough dry, it's just very, very slightly damp. So it's not going to be disturbing the powders that much. Right, so I'm just going to do my lips off camera to finish it off. That is my glowy Glowmo look. My final thoughts on the tinted moisturiser are that it's really hydrating. My skin, it feels really nice on my skin. It doesn't feel like sun cream anymore. It feels like nothing actually, it feels really nice. The powders do go on it really nice, I've looked close up and it doesn't go all weird and horrible. I think concealers blend slightly weird into it, not massively noticeably, but to the point where I think you may need extra concealer to what you normally use, so I don't think it really grabs onto cream products as nicely as say a foundation or something like that. But for something to even out your discoloration of your skin, for a tinted moisturiser that's got slightly more coverage than your average tinted moisturiser. I'd say it's between a light foundation and the tinted moisturiser, the coverage. And how nice it made my skin feel. For those reasons, I would happily use it again. I'm going to definitely take to Ibiza. As for the claims that it had, radiant, I'd personally say it's more of a dewy finish as opposed to a lot of radiance. I think having like the Wonder Glow underneath made it a bit more radiant. Hydrating, definitely. Beachy, soft focus, definitely. It has a really nice effect on the skin. You can especially tell in actual daylight. It does just really blend over as opposed to sink in. And it doesn't really grab to texture either, which is really nice. It does give a nice second skin effect, which I really like the appearance of. It's really nice. Glowy, I wouldn't say it's very glowy. Lit from within, I wouldn't really say that. I'd say the Wonder Glow side it does, but I'd say that's more of the Wonder Glow as opposed to the actual tinted moisturiser. I'd say it's more dewy as opposed to lit from within. Most skin tone, yeah it does. I think especially as you let it sit, it does kind of adapt, especially to your undertones, which is really nice. So you're not just going to get your standard tinted moisturiser shade that can go a bit ashy or a bit oranger. I think personally it just makes my skin look more awake. It feels really nice, it feels really soothing on my skin. It doesn't feel like I've got anything on, and I don't feel like it's gonna react with any products that I put on it. I do wish that it would work better with concealers. I do wish that it'd probably set a bit quicker than what it does, because it did feel like sun cream at first. Now it feels really lovely. It just feels like really soft skin, which is obviously really nice. But on a whole, I'm definitely going to use it again. I will definitely try it mixed with foundation and see how that works. But if you're looking for something that's more daytime and going to even out your skin tone as a base, then I said this is really nice, because you could use it as a primer if you don't need a primer under it and you just need moisturiser under it. I'd say you could definitely use it as a primer that's going to make your skin feel really smooth, give it a nice base, and even out your discoloration and give it slight dewiness that may shine through certain foundations. I'd say it's a win for this product. So that's my recommendations. Hope you like it, and let me know if you try it and what your thoughts and feelings on this product are. I know it launches at the end of this month. It is a really, really, really lovely product, and it's my favourite tinted moisturiser that I have tried. Yeah, let me know if you try it. Thank you! Why did I do that? So we've got... So, if you'd like to see what... instead of just Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that jazz. So I got this product, obviously, before it's released. Duh. This is a unisex product. So, on its own personally, I have noticed, but I wouldn't wear it as, I think, no, I'm not going to say that. Why would I say that? Just let it sit a bit and then, but then personally, for those reasons,